Oh, we have finished a lot yesterday. Recovering from emotional trauma. Okay, I'll start it from here.
Yeah, please. Please, if you can start reading.
Yeah, all right. Just a moment.
Page 112.
Yeah. Uh, Releasing emotional backlog. Your emotional backlog is like your email inbox. It might be a simple analogy, but it's an effective one. When you experience emotions, it is as though you're getting little messages from your body, stacking up one at a time. If you don't ever open them, you end up thousand plus notifications deep, totally overlooking crucial information and important insights that you need to move your life forward. At the same time, you cannot sit around all day and respond to every message just as it comes up. You would never get anything done. It is a mistake to assume that emotions are optional experiences. They are not. But we are masters of avoiding our feelings, and we do it in so many ways. Often, we rely on substances that physically numb us, projections and judgments that place the attention on someone else's faults as opposed to our own, all kinds of other worldly pursuits, and on the most basic level, tensing our bodies up so efficiently that we are rendered incapable of feeling. Psychologically, you probably know that this doesn't work for long. Can you please scroll up? Yeah, just a moment. Yeah, psychologically, you probably know that this doesn't work for long. The backlog starts to jam eventually. You're forced to sit and be still and sleep and cry and feel it all. I wish there were some poetic, mystical truth to share here, but there isn't. There is only your anatomy, the physiology of what's happening inside you when you feel. Emotions are physical experiences. We flush our bodies of everything, and regularly so. We defecate, we sweat, we cry, we literally shed our entire skin once a month. Feelings are no different. They are experiences that must likewise be released. Just a moment. When not felt, emotions becomes embodied. They become literally stuck in your body. This is because they have something called a motor component, which means that the minute they begin, before the minute they begin, before you can suppress or ignore them, they create a micro muscular activation. Our bodies respond instantaneously. We often store pain and tension in the area of the body where an expression began but was never fully materialized. This is because, neurologically speaking, the part of your brain that regulates emotions, the anterior cingulate, is next to premotor area, which means that when a feeling is processed, it immediately begins to generate a physical bodied response. The premotor area connects to the motor cortex and then spans back into specific muscles that are going to express the emotion. Which muscle express which emotion? Well, it depends. We have a lot of language that clues us into where we have physical reactions to emotions. We often feel fear in our stomachs. Think of a nervous stomach or a gut instinct. And heartache in our chest. Just yeah. Oh my God, where it is in our chest. That's where the whole broken heart thing comes from. Stress and anxiety in our shoulders. Think of the weight of the world on your shoulders and relationship problems in the neck. Think they are pain in the neck. But it actually goes even deeper than this. Let's say that someone did something to you that crossed a boundary and your instinct was to yell at them. However, because you understood it was not effective to literally scream, you held back. Though this may have been the right thing to do in the moment, your body may be storing residual tension in the neck or throat area. In other cases, people can experience psychosomatic effects of their emotions that are a bit just don't, yeah, that are a bit more abstract, such as pain in their knees or feet when they're traumatized by moving forward in their lives, and so on. The truth is that our bodies are speaking to us in voiceless symbols. If we can learn to interpret what they're saying, we can heal ourselves in an entire new way. So, you know that emotions sometimes get stored in your body when they are not fully expressed. But this is, but this as it is, how do we begin to flush ourselves from them? There are a number of strategies that you can use to do this. And what matters is that it's effective for you. There is one size fits all, but there are a few options that tend to work well for most people, particularly when they are used in the tandem. Yeah, is anyone interested to read or shall I go ahead? It's up to you.
Yes,
I
Saurabh,
can
you
go
will
ahead.
take up. Yeah.
Yes, thank you all.
Stop meditating to feel calm. Start meditation to just feel. I know that this goes against everything you have ever heard about meditation, but it is actually the point of meditation. If you sit down for a 10-minute session and try to force yourself to be relaxed and light, you are effectively doing the exact same type of suppression that likely gave you the need to meditate in the first place. Instead, the point of meditation is to sit idly as you experience all those feelings come up: the rage, the fear, the sadness, the overwhelming mind chatter. And in spite of how alluring or triggering it may be, you learn to stay still and not respond to it. You learn to allow these thoughts and feelings to come up and then pass by virtue of you not reacting to them. This takes practice. Use breath scans to find residual tension in the body. It usually doesn't take too much extra effort to figure out where in your body you are storing pain. You feel it, it's in your chest, your stomach, your shoulders, whatever is bothering you. However, if you are not sure, or if you want to zero in specifically on where that pain is, do something called a breathe scan. In this, you will breathe in and out slowly and without taking a break between breaths, and without taking a break between breaths. When you do this, you will begin to notice that you might hit a snag or hiccup somewhere. That in the process of taking your breath, you will start to feel precisely where in your body you are storing tension. Once you know, you can start to go into the feeling more, visualizing what it is, where it came from, and what it needs you to know. Often, in this scenario, we are brought back to specific memories of past versions of ourselves that need assistance or guidance. Use a journal to write down what you experience and see. And remember that the full body often speaks in metaphors. So the body often speaks in metaphors, so don't necessarily take everything literally. Sweat, move, cry. The last, the hardest, and the most important part of releasing your emotions is really the only thing you have to do. You have to feel them. Sometimes this means allowing yourselves to feel like total shit. Sometimes this means pushing yourself through a workout, yoga, stretching, walking, or confronting triggering thoughts and letting yourself cry out what's bothering you. Remember that emotional health is not an experience of being perpetually calm and happy all of the time. It is the experience of allowing a range of emotions, both good and bad, and not getting too stuck on either one. Similarly, mental health and self mastery is the ability to see and feel and experience a thought without responding to it. The response, or lack of thereof, is where we regain our power to and reclaim our lives. You were not born to be perfect. You were not born to be happy all the time. But if you can commit each day to doing the work being fully human and feeling even when you are afraid, you can transcend in a way that is truly beautiful. Yeah, maybe I can pass on to the next speaker.
Can I take the reading if nobody else is?
Tasneem
I?
has voted. Next.
Sure, sure.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. What it really means to heal your mind. Healing your mind is not the same thing as healing your body. When you are physically wounded, you often go through a progressive, linear repair. You get better until one day you are nearly back to where you were before. Healing your mind is completely different because you aren't returning to what you were before. You are gutting yourself and becoming someone entirely new. If that seems a little bit violent and harsh, it should. Healing is not a lovely ascension into comfort and wellness to be experienced once and forevermore. Healing yourself is the most uncomfortable, disruptive, important thing you will ever do. Healing yourself is returning to your most natural state, which is hungry for personal freedom, irreverent, 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 okay, sorry, to the suffocating opinions of others, creates without doubt, shows up without fear, and loves without stipulations and agreements and conditions. Who you truly are is at once the best version of yourself you might not even ever imagined, not have ever imagined, and the most essential version of yourself that you have always been. And getting to that place, it requires a lot. Healing requires to take an honest inventory of your grudges and aggressions and the wells of longing and fear you have been ignoring all this time. It requires you to take stock of precisely what is wrong with your life so you can work to make it right. It requires to be completely honest about how you really feel, and then it requires you to actually feel it. Healing requires you to feel the deep heartache lingering in you instead of subconsciously recreating the experience. You have an outlet to release it. Healing is no longer trying to sanitize your experience, to cleanse it until it is made perfect. Healing requires you to go through the full expression of every emotion that you cut off and buried when you decided you were no longer comfortable with it. Healing requires you to face every ounce of darkness within you. Because just beneath what appears to be an imperishable barrier is complete, radical, total freedom. When you are no longer scared of feel when you are no longer scared to feel anything, when you are when you no longer resist any one part of your life, something magical happens. You find peace. Let's be clear, you are not going to suffer forever. This is not going to hurt for long. But to trick yourself into thinking that healing is getting progressively better until you have unraveled all of your past experiences and can return to the version of yourself you were before you got hurt. Well, that is to miss the point entirely. We are meant to go to we are meant to go through these periods of what some refer to as positive disintegration. It is when we must adapt our self concept to become someone who can handle, if not thrive, in the situation that we are in. This is healthy. This is normal. This is how we are supposed to respond. But we cover because it will be uncomfortable. It will not immediately give us the virtues of what we are taught is a worthwhile life, comfort and ease, and the illusion that everything is perfect on the surface. Healing is not merely what makes us feel better the fastest. It is building the right life slowly and over time. It is greeting ourselves at the reckoning, admitting where we have flattered. It is going back and resolving our mistakes and going back within ourselves and resolving the anger and fear and small mindedness that got us there in the first place. Healing is refusing to tolerate the discomfort of change because you refuse to tolerate mediocrity for 1 second longer. The truth is that there is no way to escape discomfort. It is us. It finds us wherever we are, but we are either going to feel uneasy pushing past our self imposed limits, breaking boundaries, and becoming who we dream of being, or we are going to feel it as we sit and mull over fears we fabricated to justify why we refuse to stand up and begin. Healing is going to be hard at first. It is going to mean looking at yourself honestly, maybe for the first time ever. It is going to mean stepping out of your comfort zone so you can leap toward the person you want to be. It is not what makes you more comfortable and ideal. It is what conditions you to be more motivated by discomfort that you are scared of it, and inspired by your still moments more than you use them to forge the chains of worry. Healing is going to change everything, but it has to start with you being willing to feel what you are afraid to feel. Let's be clear about something. Becoming the best version of yourself is your natural inheritance. It is what you are born to do. Healing is simply releasing the sickness that is in the limiting beliefs and fears that are holding you back from doing exactly that. Healing is not about going back to exactly who you were before, because that person wasn't yet capable of seeing the storm before it hit. And that person did not know how to shield themselves from it. You aren't supposed to go back to being naive, less jaded, or more unaware. You aren't meant to return to your blissful mindlessness. A life in which you did not know about the contrast, the pain, all of the good and bad that life can throw at you. What you get on the other side of healing is greater than that. You just haven't experienced it yet to know. What you get for going through something painful is that you become more resilient, more self sufficient, and more empowered. You realize that nothing will save you, and so you must begin the work of saving yourself, which is the entire purpose of your life. Somebody else wants to read, or should I continue?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you.
Can I, Manish Selvi?
Please go ahead, Sakina.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. When you begin this work, you find your inner strength. You realize that you have power and influence, and you can strategize and redirect your life. You realize that instead of what you can't control, your life can be built on what you do. When you heal, you become stronger where you have been broken. You become grounded where you have been egotistical. You become responsible where you have been neglectful. You become more sensitive and able and conscious. You become more considerate. You are more empathetic. You are more mindful, more careful. But what you don't need to be do more of is afraid. Fear is not going to protect you. Action is. Worrying knows is not going to protect you. Preparing is. Overthinking is not going to protect you. Understanding is. When we hold on to fear and pain after something traumatic has passed, we do it as a sort of safety net. We falsely believe that if we constantly remind ourselves of all the terrible things that we didn't see coming, we can avoid them. Not only does this not work, but it also makes you less efficient at responding to them if they do. Because most of the time you are so busy worrying about monsters in the closet, you forget to address the actual things that will erode you over time: your health, your relationship, your long term vision, your finances, your thoughts. When you heal completely, you stop tolerating discomfort. When something is wrong, you recognize that it is wrong and take action to fix it because you have seen what happens when you don't. When you heal completely, you are able to think ahead and rationally consider cause and effect. You recognize that your action will generate results. And if you want to better control the outcomes of your life, you have to better adjust your habits. When you heal completely, you realize that there is nothing more important than being able to enjoy where you are, right here and right now. Whatever obstruction are in the way of you being present and savoring your life are the challenges you have to face. Because life is quick and it's temporary. What you have now, you could lose tomorrow. And gripping it so tightly, binding it up with resistance, doesn't mean it's safer. It means that when the day comes that it passes, as does everything, as does everyone, you will realize you never really enjoy it. And healing, it's about getting to a place where you prioritize nothing over the quality of your one short life. Can I read or anyone wants to read?
I'll take up after you, Sakina. You want to read? You read little more.
Okay. No, you can take.
Okay, thank you. Moving forward isn't about getting revenge. Your glow, your glow up might not be something others can see. It might not come across as a shift on the surface. In a world of revenge bodies and comeback relationships, a word that tries to tell you that your ultimate transformation should be splayed out across your Instagram feed, we have lost what it really means to heal, to improve, to move on with our lives. The real glow up isn't proving the people from your past wrong. It is finally feeling so content and hopeful about your future that you stop thinking about them entirely. When you want to change your life so it looks different, and only that, you are still orbiting around the opinions of people who didn't love you and didn't have any intention to. You can always tell the difference too. People who have truly transformed are not concerned solely with how things appear. Their lives are now focused intently on how things feel, how they really are underneath it all. A real glow up is authentic. It is lifting off all the cover up bullshit and addressing the real problems. It is healing. It is changing for good. It is, for the first time, prioritizing your heart over someone else's eyes. Anyone can piece together an image that looks better. Anyone can edit and filter and lay picture after picture, side by side, to create a narrative, a story, a semblance of the whole. Anyone can buy their way into beauty. Anyone can look nicer if they really try. Anyone can convince you that they are doing better than they really are. If they are so intent on trying to prove that, it is probably because they are still so empty inside. What if you weren't worried about whether or not you look bigger or smaller or nicer or better than you did 10 years ago? What if you were more concerned about whether or not you gain self respect, real relationships, emotional freedom, mental clarity, a job you appreciate, work you respect, a kinder and more empathetic disposition? What if your accomplishments were not something you could photograph? Please scroll. Little down. What if your accomplishments were not something you could photograph or measure, nothing you could loosely try to communicate across some pixels and status updates? How are you feeling today? Better than you did yesterday? More whole, more confident? The truth is that there is no before and after in life. We are always in a process of shedding and becoming. That snapshot moment you are waiting for, that instance in which someone dares to look up to you again and sees finally that you are thriving, is a game for you and you alone. Nobody is looking at you the way you think they are. Nobody is thinking about you the way you wish they would. They are looking at themselves. They are thinking about themselves. They are reading themselves. This isn't sad, it's freeing. This should be the crux of your ultimate liberation. The truth is that you have nobody to prove wrong but yourself. The people from your past probably didn't disapprove of you nearly as much as you feared they did. This closure is for you. This growth is for you. This change is yours. This is you versus you. You meeting you. You seeing you for the first time. This is about you becoming who you know you can be. This is about you finally living up to your potential. But mostly, this is about you recognizing that you were not your best self before. You didn't behave the way you wish you would have. You didn't do what you should have. You weren't that what you hoped you would be. Whenever we want desperately to prove someone else wrong, we are really trying to quell our own lingering disappointment that we didn't live up to our own expectations. So remember this, the next time you are trying to craft a glow up story that is compelling to others, ask yourself why you are still waiting for their approval. The answer almost always is that you still do not have your own. Shruti, you wanted to read next?
Okay,
Please.
I'll take up. Thanks, Anjali. Yeah. Building a new future. Now that you have done the challenging work of beginning to release your past experiences, you must turn your attention towards building a new present and future. When we release, we are wiping the slate clean to create something better. One of the most common pitfalls of people who try but do not succeed in releasing their past is that their focus remains on just that, the past. The work now is to envision who you want to be, connect with the most powerful version of yourself, design your life through your daily routine, and uncover your true purpose for being, meeting your highest potential future self. A popular tool in psychotherapy is something called inner child work, or the process of imagining and reconnecting with your younger self. In this process, you can offer yourself guidance, even going back to certain traumatizing events and readdressing them with the wisdom you have now. But more often, the process of reconnecting with your inner child is to let them communicate with you. It is how you can rediscover your inherent desires, passions, fears, and feelings. The process is akin to reverse engineering, which is when you identify the end goals for your life and then work backwards to see what you need to do each day, week, month, and year to get there. However, it works the opposite way as well. You can use a visualization technique to connect to your highest potential future self. Step 1, face the fear first. Sit down in a quiet place with a journal. Make sure you're doing it at a time when you feel relaxed and open to receive guidance. If you go into this with fear, you are not going to get fear. You are going to get fear. Next, close your eyes and begin a meditation session. Take a few moments to breathe deeply and center yourself. Imagine sitting down at a comfortable table in a well lit room, somewhere that you are happy and feel at peace. Then invite your future self to come sit with you and talk. You can request that they are a certain age, but usually the age will just come to you when you see them. Specifically, ask for the highest possible version of yourself to sit down. If you see anything scary at first, know that it is your fear of what could happen manifesting in your mind, not the truth of what will happen. Once you get past that, you can start receiving advice. Step 2, notice how your future self looks. Aside from what you imagine, this version of yourself telling you, pay attention to what they look like, how they behave, and what their facial expressions communicate. The point of doing future self work is so that you can merge with this aspect of yourself. You want to clearly envision the most ideal version of yourself so that you know how your own life needs to grow, shift, and change. See what they wear, how they feel, what they do each day. These will be the keys to your own becoming. Step 3, ask for guidance. If you go into this process with a laundry list of scary, huge questions for your future self to answer, you are probably going to end up bound by panic rather than being open to receiving powerful guidance. Instead, keep yourself open to whatever this person wants to share with you. The messages should be positive, uplifting, affirming, and helpful. Even if they communicate something to you, such as, you need to let go of this relationship, it should be done in a way that is so calming and reaffirming that you are confident and at peace with it. Step 4, imagine them handing you the keys to your new life. Another powerful exercise using your future self is to imagine yourself now sitting down with yourself 3, 5, or even 7 years ago. It has to be have changed. Imagine sitting down in a space you used to frequent or inhabit. What you are going to do now is hand them the pieces of your current life and all of the information they will need to go from who they are then to who you are now. You can hand them your car keys, your email account for your job, your bank account, an outfit, or instructions on what to do in terms of career, relationship, or just day to day habits. Or you can imagine your future self giving you aspects of your life now. Imagine them handing you the keys to the home you live in, or your wedding band, or anything else that is a part of your highest possible future life. Remember, this process should make you feel calm, affirmed, and more self assured, not the opposite. Fear is a hallucination, a trick of the mind and gut. Your future self can step in and remind you of all that is possible and empower you to live with certainty, clarity, and grace, releasing your past into the quantum field. Ramya can maybe take up if there is future reading.
Yeah, okay, Shruti.
Yeah, Ramya, please carry on.
Yeah, thank you. Releasing releasing your past into the quantum field. When something happens that scares you and then you do not ever get over that fear, you become traumatized. Trauma is the experience of disconnecting with the fundamental source of safety. It happens most severely when our attachment to our primary caretakers is compromised. But there is truly an infinite number of ways the world can traumatize you, and to varying degrees. There are a lot of theories about what trauma is and where it comes from. Some believe that it is passed down physically through DNA. Others argue that it is shared mentally and emotionally through learned patterns and observations. Most commonly, trauma is believed to be an interpersonal experience we have in which we are challenged and then lack the skills and coping mechanism to rise to it. No matter where it came from, if you have some kind of lingering trauma, you will know because you will feel it. You will feel it physically in your body. You will feel anxiety, tension, fear, terror, sadness, or guilt. It will be displaced. It will not have a clear direct cause. You will overreact to certain things, and even when a problem is solved, you will still panic. This is the mark of trauma. Trauma is not in your head, it is in your body. This is the first and most important thing you need to know in order to overcome it. Trauma is a legitimate physical issue. You store those emotions, energies, and patterns at a cellular level. Thankfully, we can use the ripples at the top of the water to trace back down to the problem at the bottom. You can begin to use your body to help you heal. First, identify what caused the traumatic experience. You do this by feeling into yourself and noticing where you are tight or tense. Our bodies harden to protect us. When we have a broken leg, our fascia tightens like a natural cast so that we do not bend ourselves that way again. Similarly, when our hearts are broken, our emotions tighten so that we do not let ourselves feel again. Of course, eventually we have to walk. We have to love. We have to experience life again. We have to slowly soften the pieces of us that are trying to protect us so that we can move forward. Healing trauma is not just a matter of psychoanalyzing it. It is a matter of literally working through it physically. The next time you feel yourself overreacting to some kind of stimulus, you will notice that your body is starting to tense up and create a fight or flight response. To heal this, you have to force yourself to take deep, soothing breaths until the part of your body that was once tense is relaxed again. You will need to self-soothe in different ways: meditating, breathing, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, using aromatherapy, sound therapy, or whatever else works for you. You absolutely must work to take your brain and body physically out of panic or survival mode. Second, reinstate a sense of safety. You are dramatized because something scared you and you are convinced that it is still out to get you. This is what happens when we don't face or overcome something difficult. We assume the threat lingers indefinitely. The psychological aspect of trauma healing is that you have to literally restore the connection that was severed in the exact same way that it was broken. If you are traumatized about relationship, you need to build healthy relationship. If you are traumatized about money, you need to get really good with money. If you are traumatized about traveling, you need to travel again. We do not find the resolution. We do not find the resolution in avoiding these things forever. In fact, just underneath the fear, we often find that they are the things we really want more than anything else. Third, stop taking thoughts and feelings at face value. Last, to overcome trauma, you have to stop engaging in psychic thinking. You have to stop pretending you are able to predict what will happen, that you know other people's intentions, or that what you feel and think is absolute truth and reality. This kind of thinking is what takes a triggering feeling and turns it into a defeating spiral. You take one scary thing and make it into a prediction for what the future will hold. You are not an oracle. You do not know what's next, though you are always capable of choosing what you do now. Almost always, the thing you are most panicked about is a thing you do not know is happening for sure. It is usually an assumption, a projection, a fear turned into a terrifying potential reality. You might think that trauma is something that other more damaged people have, but that is not true. Everyone is traumatized in one way or another, but it is how we respond to it, how we ultimately grow and develop self-mastery from it, that determines the course of our lives. Should I continue or I'll stop here?
Yeah, please continue. 2 more pages.
Okay. Becoming the most powerful version of yourself. Are you being the most powerful version of yourself? If you had to pause to think about it, the answer is probably no. Everybody has different facets of their personality, and we act on them based on the context we are in. It's a social adaptation tool. You are not the same person with your friends as you are with your parents. Moving through these easily is a sign of high psychological function. We are acquainted with the version of ourselves that our current life requires. We know who we need to be at work, at home, or in love, but we are often unfamiliar with the person we need to be in order to move our lives forward. In inner child work, you visualize and address your younger self, often down to a specific age, depending on which version of you was traumatized. You communicate with that inner child self, learn from them, protect them, or give them the guidance that they needed when they were in. This proves to be profoundly healing for people, mostly because we do not evolve past our former selves. We simply grow upon them. However, this practice can, 1 minute please. However, this practice can work the opposite way as well. You can also visualize and connect with your future self. You can also visualize and connect with your future self, the version of you that you are growing into, or the person you know you are meant to be. What would my most powerful self do today? The first step to becoming your most powerful self is to literally envision that person. Don't take yourself out of your current context either. Begin to ask yourself, what would the most powerful version of me do right now? What would they do with this day? How would they respond to this challenge? How would they move forward? How would they think? What would they feel? Your most powerful self needs to be the CEO of your life. It is the person making managerial decisions, governing everything else. This is the editor-in-chief, the matriarch or patriarch. You are working for your most powerful self. Once you have the clearer image of what your most powerful self is like, you then need to evaluate what habits, traits, and behaviors are actively holding you back from fully embodying that person. Be aware of your weaknesses. Powerful people are not delusional. They do not believe that you are perfect all the time at everything. This is not what makes them mentally strong. Instead, powerful people are very aware of their varying strengths and weaknesses. In business, powerful people will often outsource the task and which they are less skilled. In life, powerful people know where their limits are and what their triggers might be. This allows them to move through their lives with more ease and to give themselves the time and space needed to work on their faults. The ability to say to yourself, I know I struggle a lot with this, so I'm going to take my time and work on it, is one of the most powerful things you can do. Be willing to be disliked. Powerful people are not the ones who are most universally liked. They are also not the ones vying for others' approval, and that's the key. To be a truly powerful person, you must be willing to be disliked. This is not to say that you behave in any way that's malicious, but it is to say that no matter what you do, others are going to judge you. Powerful people know this. There is no path in life that you can take that will be free of resistance from others. And so it is important that you not only become okay with being disliked, but you anticipate it and act anyway.
We'll stop here, Ramya. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
So thanks everyone for reading. Let's look back on the chapter that we read so far. Let's go through the points which stood out for us, and also look out for 3 points that we carry from here today that we will want to implement in our lives to make it better. Yeah. So please go ahead. Anyone would like to share?
May I, Maniselvi?
Yeah, Tasneem, please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody once again. The best thing that I will carry from today's read is what you call imagining or seeing my future self. So what I would be looking tomorrow, what I would be doing, how I would be dressing. That's the most impressive thing for me in today's read. And the one thing that I always do, and I'll keep on doing, is connect with my inner child. That's the best way to know whether you are stuck with any problems over there, whether you want to release it. All of the exercises today that have been discussed are effective, are true, and are very helpful. The next one that they also spoke about is other than the person that you are talking about, that you are right now. The healing process is a must. And once you're healed, you will be exactly what they said. You are not going back to the person that you were, who was naive, who was not able to protect themselves, who did not have the ability to set boundaries, but you become a version of what you are made for. So, beautiful read today. And it is absolutely mind blowing about all the exercises and all the facts that have been given. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tasneem, to start off the discussion with the future self deliberation. Yes, that was the most powerful thing even I felt. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share?
Maniselvi, I would take the lead after
Yeah,
this.
please.
So I actually resonated with what I'm forgetting her name, whatever she just spoke. Okay, but apart from that, I would also like to add about we all have this fear of being disliked. Okay, what the others will say, and a lot of times we are not realizing, we are carrying those fears and those pains are getting stored. So the biggest takeaway will be also staying true to yourself and doing your things, being unshackled by what others are thinking or what they will say. So it's just about staying true to yourself and taking care of that inner child that you have, you know matlab. So I think that is my biggest takeaway for today. Thank you.
Thanks, Shruti, for bringing that. Let's not think what others think. Let's focus on what we want. Yeah. Great. Being true to yourself is indeed most important. Yeah, anyone else? Please share.
Okay, Manisalvi, just one thing on a very lighter note, okay, guys. This is not to disrupt your thought process of being a good person. Many a times, when I am irritated with somebody, we are talking here about leaving emotions behind in our body, okay? When I'm talking to somebody and somebody has irritated me, this is on a very lighter note, guys, don't take me wrong. I go ahead and literally, maybe at times on their face, maybe at times behind. Behind, I come and I name them all the possible animals that I want to name them. Okay. So I'll say he's a donkey, he's a monkey, he's an elephant, he's a cow. And absolutely opposite that, I'll say I'm a lioness, I'm a leopard, I'm a cheetah. I'll go and kind of, हिंदी में बोलूंगी तो चीर दूंगी उसको. So it's just a dialogue. Whenever you are upset about something and you're not able to release that dialogue at that point in time, maybe he's an elder or he's your husband or a child, or go get into the bathroom and absolutely, if you like abusing in a different manner, do the abuse that you want to do. Idiot, stupid, elephant, cow, buffalo. Say whatever you want to say, but release that out at that very moment so that it does not stick in you, so that it does not stay with you. Take these small liberations of just letting it out, or just go in the bathroom and just scream. Scream as much as you can, or pour cold water. If you're afraid of cold water at that point in time, only just pour cold water on yourself. So these small things, weird things, maybe it is weird, but yeah, it helps. It helps big time on a very lighter note.
Tasneem, I'm so much resonating with what you are saying. Okay. As you said, a lot of times when I'm leaving from office, okay, and I'm pissed off with the boss, I've had a bad day, and I'm like, he's having so much of mood swings today, blah, blah. And when you do that, okay, before you leave office, okay, you just do it. Maybe on the way back to the home, and the moment you enter home, you are so light, you have let go everything, and then office is not going with you. So I totally agree with you. Yeah, thank you. You are on mute, Tasneem. Yeah.
No, I was just saying it is fun to do that. Just yell it out, just yell it out. Trust me, girls, it is so much. Just for the heck of it, just laugh or just scream or just do whatever makes you go crazy. Just put on music and start dancing. Trust me. Trust me, go with the beats. Just release. The only thing what I'm saying is that emotion that has struck you at that moment, don't let it dwell and get into your muscle and nerve and tissue and cells. That is the minute you want that release to happen, and then be relaxed. Because the more, we already have old emotions sitting in it. When the new one comes up, as the author said, it will keep on piling. So let's not pile from today. Just understand this. Anybody irritates you, anybody says there's something to you, just go and release it out, vent it out. Either just call me up and just say bitch, healthy bitching. Speak anything about that person. You all remember that movie, Jab We Met, when when Shahid Kapoor asks him, Kareena Kapoor to take the picture and like, gali de, bol de jo bolna hai, and just release your emotion. Release your emotion. That's the best way to keep on healing yourself on a day-to-day basis.
Saurabh, you have mentioned a comment. I agree with you. Journaling could be a good way, but I don't know. Maybe rest of the ladies can agree or disagree with me. We girls need to take it out. We find journaling is good, But the moment you say, it gives you that kind of kick, I would say. So maybe, maybe others can agree or disagree and share their opinion. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so great conversation going, some unconventional, seemingly unconventional. I will not say it's not being used. Yes, these things do work, and it's up to us and our appetites, if we can actually take this up. Now, here, just one thing I wanted to say, there are three things here actually. One is the emotional diffusement or the management at that immediate incident when that happens. Second is, actually how you become more emotionally intelligent going forward. And third is how you manage others' emotions and yours as well. So there are multiple layers to this. This would help you to diffuse the situation, and as the name guided, maybe that will not become part of your energy or disturb your equilibrium as from a body perspective. But it depends, right? It depends. Now, how do you carry it forward? You will have to maybe journal or reflect at least. How Saurabh suggested that now, since you have diffused the situation, now you look back at it and how do you want to be doing it next time? And then work on the future response that will be there. Maybe the same person comes up and you have a better way of answering more confidently rather than getting so much hit by that person or that situation, right? So that is more becoming more emotionally capable or intelligent or flexible, I would say. And how do you manage it? How do you become a better thing in managing other people, say in your team? If you are the manager, how do you actually, so as Shruti will say, first you mind your own moods and avoids great swing of mood swings. That is one way. Second way is also be perspective, how the other person is, what kind of a person that is, and how we can interact with that person in a much better manner, so that rapport is maintained and we are able to get things done without too much of I would say emotional energy being exhausted. So that's the next layer which you can build, right? Yes, journaling will help you to introspect, right? But you'll have to periodically experiment and do things and see whether this can help you, because as we say, nothing is specific for any situation or for person. You can try out things, right? Yeah. So thanks,
Oh.
Asneem and Shruti, for bringing up this up. Anyone else would like to add here anything?
This Pranavi.
Just,
Yeah, Pranav.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you want to go ahead, dear?
No, you finish, then I'll continue. That's
All
okay. Continue.
There is something called as sweat, move, and cry, which I usually follow, and it works out. And now I got addicted so much that even I don't have any other situations to face. Also, I have wired my brain in such a way that I would definitely finish this pattern of sweat, move, and cry. Sweat here means it's like when I go to when I just hit the gym and when I sweat out, so I feel very light from inside. So somewhere I feel that at a physical level I am just training my body to sweat out, showing that you're just removing your pain, stress, or anything in the form of sweat, even at the mental level as well. And then moving your body is not only related at a physical level, at a psychological level. You're not stuck in that particular pattern, nor you're not stuck in that particular condition for longer time. So it's like consciously you're training your mind to just take a step further and get your body and mind get trained to take a step further. And then crying is like it's literally an emotional release. So when you just try to get deep inside during the meditation, or whenever some kind of breaking situation comes out, it's I just try to sit in a corner, brood on that situation, and try to cry very badly so that I can release that. And I would, at least to an extent, remove that clutter in my system, and the piling of the other things wouldn't happen. So I really loved that, these three things, sweat, move and cry, has a very depth meaning in it. And it's like, I mean, the author has given a complete view to, heal and everything. I mean, all the secrets are there in those three words. So I really loved it. Am I audible?
Yeah, Pranav.
Yeah. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyone else? Yeah, Sakina, go ahead. Anyone who wants to share, please go ahead.
Can I add something, Manasar,
Yeah,
here?
please.
Yeah, Pranav, thanks for addition that it is this method is also Osho dynamic meditation. So there are 4 steps of it, and when initially I came across it, yes, I thought, oh, it is a really pagalpan, the people cry, shout, and everything. But when I then understood the all 4 steps slowly, step by step,
Is it audible?
Yeah, I think we lost him.
Yeah.
His connection.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, since we are waiting for him, and maybe once he gets connected, he can come back. Manisan, maybe I would like to share something. May I?
Please.
Thank you. So, my only cautious alarm over here, a little bit, is that when you are journaling, and especially some very sensitive emotions that you think you will be releasing with a past incident or a trauma or anything that you disliked, see that you, and this is with a little bit of experience that I have, see that you have somebody around you, because many a times when you are doing that journaling, if it is a soft blow, if it is something that you're just generally releasing, that's fine. But if not, then this reliving that moment and feeling the feel that you had or the emotion that you had, um, can be very shaking up. And you don't know what kind of a state of mind that you would be at that point in time and how you would handle. So just as a precautionary measure, see that somebody really who's loving and caring and who is a good listener at that point in time is sitting around you, and then you are doing this exercise. Just that much.
Yeah, thanks, Asim. Milind, you could join. I think you dropped off. Yeah, okay. Anyone else?
Maniselvi, I just got disconnected
Yeah.
because of my phone battery got drained. So you'll have to take the notes for today because I
Okay.
will not get them since I got disconnected. Now the AI will not give me the notes now of both like reading as well as people like shares.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Anyone else
that's it.
would like to share?
So since we're talking about healing, I just want to share something like listening to everyone share also so far, like whatever I could attend. So many a times now what I have understood is we feel we are healed or we feel we have done the work, but that's not how it is, because many a times when we get triggered by certain situations or we see the patterns repeating in our life, that itself is a sign that we have not really healed things fully, and we feel because there is some kind of resistance to the whole process, because of which we don't want to face it, because I feel it's a very brave act, or it's a very brave thing to actually go inside us and really address all of those emotions and acknowledge them fully with a lot of honesty and all of that. It's a lot of inner work that involves for it. And what Tasneem or Milinji or Shruti, when they were sharing, what I could hear. So from what I understand, like I have like fortunately been part of one of the spiritual retreat in which one of our coaches, he took us through these exercises. They are actually designed exercises and meditation. So there is a book by Osho called, I don't know the name of the book properly, but there are these active meditations in them. So these are not the meditations where you just sit down and you do close your eyes and you do, but these are actually where there are some activities that you're supposed to do. And then a part of the meditation is where you actually give out the bad words, or you give out, or you abuse, or you whatever, because you just let everything out fully. And I remember we doing it in a room of like around 300 of people, also everyone shouting around, screaming at the top of their voices and doing like that. And these are to be done just to release all those emotions that are stored in our body. And when we release these things, they help us heal in a way, because otherwise what happens is this chronic diseases or some very dangerous things like cancer or things like that are slowly and steadily getting converted in our bodies, because the cell, we have a cellular memory which store things, and we don't get to express ourselves like this. So we are normally conditioned to be like good people, and we are conditioned to be a good girl, good boy, and all of that, and because of which we are just trained to be suppressing our emotions in a society or in a societal living. So this is very, very important. And there are a lot of other exercises also, like I don't know the names fully, but I think gibberish, or there are some psychological exercises where you are actually, you talk to the chair, or you do things like that. We do them in sessions and things like that, where you actually facilitate releasing of these emotions, which are very important, because in the attempt of protecting our images, we are suppressing a lot of things, which normally anger, all these emotions are very natural, but we are brainstorm to think them as positive and negative. Anger is negative and things like that, and that's how, so that is what I just wanted to add, because healing was so much there in today's reading na. So I just wanted to share whatever I understood. So yeah, that's it. And yeah, Manisali or someone just please take the notes for today. That's it for the summarizing.
Thanks, Mansi. Anyone else would like to add here? Okay. So today's reading, it was basically focus on, it's all about you versus you. It is not the outside world versus you or whatever. So you versus you, when you say you versus you, is you versus your perception of the things that have happened. So emotions play a key role in that, and one has to understand the impact, because as the author rightly says, it's form of a email inbox where things keep piling, and you'll have to attend some, you'll have to ignore some, and you'll have to deal with certain things, right? So it's not an optional experience, the author says very rightly, and because emotions affect your body as well. So it's a great way of again bringing into focus the mind-body connection. But here the additional point to notice, the way the body heals, the mind doesn't. So the healing process of the mind is different, has to be taken from a different view altogether. As a body, we can see physically from the outside it heals, some x-rays, some kind of things will help you understand whether at the deeper level it heals. For mind, no such thing. The x-ray there would be the reflection of us into the patterns that we fall into. As Mansi said, if something is unhealed, then the patterns will keep arising, the situations will keep coming up for you to handle or deal with it. So the patterns are something which we can look for. The behavior, how do we behave in a day, what actually pleases us and what gives us discomfort. If we keep note and journal and reflect, that will help. Overall, if we maintain a positive mindset, that will help in the long run, because you have a very good functional mind as such. So every time I would again come back to capable, make yourself more capable to handle emotions, more capable in handling situations, because situations is what sometimes make us feel dread about, if the same things happen again, what to do. So as we build a strong mindset, have more kind of a patience and courage with ourselves, then we will able to handle things much better. Now the striking thing was, how do you anticipate and imagine your future self, and the way you handle your past is not, as I said yesterday also, it is more of an integration rather than letting go of your past. And we have to manage and be ready for the next. So this last chapter ended with a positive note that what you are actually pursuing is a greater self, is a more powerful self and more true self, I would say, rather than a powerful, more true. What is more true to yourself? Being aligned with what you actually yearn for, what is your purpose in life, and what is your value and what you're comfortable with. So understanding yourself is the key. This requires a lot of courage, I would say, to face yourself and challenge yourself. But as you walk along with yourself in life, in the path of life, making yourself, your mind as your buddy, then I think things will be easier, and your future self will definitely, you'll be able to fulfill that. And you can imagine a much better future self than what you currently can seem to see further. But yes, this requires a lot of work. As I said, courage is the first word that comes to my mind. You have to have the courage to break the barriers that you yourself seem to have set, and face the situation, which, yes, they are fearful, and you might not have the capability, the way of handling it, the strategies. But yes, if you have to break through, then this work is necessary. It can be a inner work, it can be the inner child work, or it can be just journaling regularly. Just keep in touch with yourself every day. That is what I would suggest, because that is the need, and stop looking outside for any kind of recognition or true fulfillment is within. So thank you everyone to be very participative, and to be connecting with this book so well. Yeah, and please go back to the book whenever you feel right, and please keep growing, and please keep doing the work that you are already doing for your own self. Yeah, thank you. So we'll call it a day today, and see you tomorrow, same time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maniselvi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.